There was a recent profile of interviews and of these recent or new squad members rather in the magazine The American Prospect, which is a really good magazine, by the way, if anyone needs a reading recommendation. But yeah, this is an article called The Class of 2020, and they talked to some of the new squad members. Obviously pictured here are Marie Newman, Corey Bush, Jamal Bowman, and Mondaire Jones. For people that we obviously supported on this show. And it gets into, it's a pretty lengthy interview. They get into a lot of topics. You can check it out if you wish. Again, this is the American Prospect. But there were a few quotes actually that caught my eye, and a few quotes, especially from Marie Newman and Mondaire Jones, that caught my eye. And I'll put them up and we can react to them because I thought this was an interesting response from Marie Newman. Oops, sorry about that. The interviewer says this is debate now about where to go strategy wise, and he references force the vote. He says it obviously he's referencing the debate about whether or not we should forcefully push our representatives and for Medicare for all that. And Marie Newman says I like strategies that work, so kind of a little bit of a shot at the force the vote movement, saying it wouldn't have worked anyway.
What's your strategy, Marie?
She gets to that. She gets to that. She says, I know there's noise out there and I don't understand that strategy. It's articulated by folks who have never spent a day in Congress. I love the spirit and the passion. I'm with them on spirit and passion and desire for that legislation.
Wait, can I just pause you for 1 second? Isn't it like her first week in Congress? Like, how many days in Congress has she fucking spent in Congress? Yeah, I'm just saying that pissed me off, but go ahead.
No, it really is. And that's the most abhorrent aspect of this response, which does have a little bit of hope in it.
Put you in Congress.
Yeah, exactly. And she says, are we going to get it to the floor? 100%. We have to bring Medicare for all to the floor in a way that's responsible and a powerful way that has good strategy. So she is, promising to bring it to the floor.
Strategy? That's a Donald Trump answer. Of course, 100%. We have to bring Medicare for all to the floor in a responsible way. It's going to be very powerful. It's going to be very effective. It's a wonderful strategy. It's a tremendous strategy. I'm behind it 100%. I'm backing it. It's very risky. It's very strong. It's a very great strategy. I'm behind it 100%.
Now that Nancy Pelosi is the speaker again, it's not like anything's actually going to succeed. As long as she is the speaker, you're up Schitt's Creek essentially when it comes to the fight for Medicare for all. So what were you going to say, Joy? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, that's as someone forced to vote, that's kind of, I'm not surprised because here's the thing. If she stuck up for us, they'd say, well, why the hell didn't you come out and support us? Why the hell didn't you encourage people to force the vote? Side story that I digress, but it's so funny when I think about her. Like every time I think of her, I think, oh, thank you, Jay Bird. Love you back.
Yeah, thanks for that super chat, Jay Bird. Really appreciate that.
When I think of Marie Newman, I think about how, and I've never said this publicly, I'm going to write an article about all the bizarre times like people have turned me down or ignored my messages. She agreed to come on my show, but then her handler or whatever he was messaged me this big long thing about how she shouldn't make that decision herself and he doesn't want her doing my show and stuff like that. And
what?
A huge thing.
That's never happened to us on our show. I've always kind of thought that like that might happen at some point or something along those lines, but that's never happened. That's crazy. Like, what about your show would be too edgy for Marie Newman? That's crazy.
Savage Joy. Well, he's never watched it. I mean, he's just never watched it.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. But yeah, Gavin, what was the Jamal Bowman response? Did we have one?
Yeah, it was Mondaire Jones, and yeah, let me throw this up. Mondaire Jones was asked a similar question about healthcare, Medicare for all, and needless to say, it's even more disappointing. So they ask him, one place where the leftward drift seems less obvious is the healthcare question. There's a bloc that backs Medicare for all. Joe Biden has supported the public option, and the House leadership is focused on just expanding the ACA. How do you think progressives should intervene there? And Mondaire says, imagine debating the merits of a public option versus Medicare for all when there's a 6-3 conservative majority on the court that will strike down the Affordable Care Act. So I push back on the idea that that's going to be the nature of the fight. Again, this is someone who ran on Medicare for all.
What the fuck, dude? This makes me mad. And also, this is such an obvious horse shit. Like, stack the court, bro. Like, start out thinking, like, what the fuck? This is ridiculous. Like, we didn't put you in office to roll over and die.
Yeah.
I've never been a huge fan of his, to be honest. I've sensed some kind of underlying shitlibbery within him. Now, the other ones, like Jamal, like, I was all about it, donated, Corey, everything like that. But Mondaire, I don't know, something about him. But
Marie Newman were the two that felt least squattish to me, too.
Yes. So, also, the thing with this is some defeatist bullshit. Okay, you have great health care. I don't want to hear from you. Like, fact of the matter is, we need some kind of hope. Electoral politics ain't it. Like, we're no closer to Medicare for all. We are, thanks to Bernie, it's a household term, things like that. But we're no closer to actually getting it. So to say, this middle ground bullshit, like, well, public option and stuff, because Medicare for all just simply won't pass. Well, some of us kind of can't afford to just roll over and say that. Some of us are like, literally do or die. We're fighting for this shit. Like, you're either with us or get out of the way.
Yeah. Well,
we need to have the same energy that the Redditors have when they went after Melvin Capital. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. I mean, take down the system. And again, there's no reason why politicians can't also be activists while also being nimble and skillful politicians. There's no reason why they have to give up, a real activist fight because they're, now within the polite and honorable halls of Congress. That's not how it should work. Just because you have healthcare and a nice, Cadillac plan or whatever, it does not mean that the rest of us out here are any better off just because you're in there. I mean, it's great that you're, replace some neoliberal or whatever, but like until the actual results are yielded,
you're no better than a neoliberal until you fucking vote on something.
Yeah, exactly.